What's up, tubes? So I came to this epiphany earlier, and check this out. The reason why the dating scene sucks, period, not just in Casper, but in general, is because of these double standards that affect men and women. This negative standard that all men want is sex, as well as overly sexualizing the female form. The combination of overly sexualizing the female form and treating all men like all they want is puss. It creates a very negative effect for the dating scene. It makes men and women entitled to sex and shit, and it's disgusting. That, with the combination of people using Tinder and online dating just for one night stands or for a sugar daddy or what have you. It's disgusting. Now, there are some people who would probably love to give online dating a try, but because every person they run into just wants a one night stand, you know, if that's all you're looking for, then put it on your profile. Be honest with people. If you're going to do online dating, don't use a picture you took 4 years ago, you know. And the only reason you're using that picture from 4 years ago is because you're afraid of rejection. And that's why you're rushing out on the dating scene. I would rather be single than be in a relationship where I'm not happy. And you see couples like that in public where they're just fighting about stupid shit. Couples who are having kids before they're ready to have them, that kind of thing. And it makes you appreciate being single. I'm trying not to bitch about my dry spell as much, but earlier was kind of a piss poor excuse for it. And, well, when I was watching TV at a friend's house, a commercial came on talking about, these Syrian refugees, these Muslims and Jewish people who don't have any food because of the war and shit that's going on over there with the conflicts and shit. And it made me feel like an ass, to be honest. Like it put shit into perspective. Like, I'm barely rich enough to feed myself. I can't imagine being so poor that you can't afford to eat. I mean, that would suck, dude. And it's that's just the thing of it. That's not just in war torn areas. That's all over the place, unfortunately. Ugh, damn it. You know what that fart was for? These fucking assholes are like, Josh needs to get laid. Most of them are saying that it's coming from a good place. It's people who care about me and they just want to see me be happy, but you can't let sex control your life to the point where you're depressed without it and overly confident when you get it. You know, getting laid should not have that much power over you yet. I see a lot of people get really depressed when they go without it, myself included. But that's when you distract yourself with hobbies, wand making YouTube videos, whatever it may be, stamp collecting, And eventually you'll find a chick that's into the same hobbies you're into, and you'll two will just click. But a good thing like that takes time. You can't rush a good thing. And some things are worth the wait. And if you're bragging because you can get it and someone else can't, are you really so secure with your relationship? Because you never know. The person you're bragging like, oh yeah, at least I can get it. Your relationship could go down the crapper within 2, 3, 4 months, and by that time, the person you're dogging on has somebody now. Funny how life works like that, isn't it? But lo and behold, there's this needy culture when it comes to things like sex, and it's disgusting. You know, it really is. It's not as part of the relationship, but it's just that. Much like the relationship, it's not a requirement in life, it's a perk. It's a perk. You know, but because of this negative attitude that society has towards men when it comes to relations, you know, women are constantly saying things like, I'm sick and tired of just being used you know, for sex and shit. But I've seen women do it to men too, so. And the thing about gender equality is that you have to acknowledge both sides. And the biggest problem with our society is, we can't talk about a woman's issues without it being taken as an attack or you're just being sexist or. Well, how do you think men feel when society can openly rip on men all day, talk about their issues, and we can't say a fucking word about it? Well, we could, but. It's normally not a problem. Maybe it's just a bad day. But anyways, freaking yeah, dude. Um, the issue I was having earlier, it's not important, and it's normally not an issue. It's just a bad day, I guess. Whatever. I don't care. When you see someone else who's struggling, you know, a lot worse than you are, it puts shit into perspective, man. You know, that's the thing of it. Like, I'm not afraid to be myself on camera. Well, why would I be afraid to be myself around women? I'm just saying. Yeah, if the person rejects you for whatever reason, then that person's not meant for you. Like, you should date a girl with autism. You two would be great together. You assume that. You don't know that. I love how that's always the stereotype on the dating scene. Oh, you're black? Huh, maybe you should date another black chick. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. And why is that? But what if, and this is going to challenge your thinking just a bit, what would you say if there was a girl and a guy, they were both in their 20s, but the girl in question was like super banging and she's dating some dude with Down syndrome. Some people will be like, oh, that's the sweetest fucking thing in the world. But what if the roles were reversed? What if it was some dude dating a chick with Down syndrome? Society wouldn't look at it as, oh, that's so cute. They'd be like, that man's a sick fuck. That's what they'd be saying. And I see a lot of relationships like that where the better half of that person is physically or mentally handy capable, and usually when and that's just it. Like if it's a chick dating a dude with Down syndrome, it's seen as, oh, she's taking pity on him, she's such a sweet girl. But if it's a dude dating a chick with Down syndrome and they're both of age, it doesn't get looked at it like that, does it? You can call me an asshole for saying it, but you know I'm right. And it wouldn't matter, but like the guy could treat his girl with the utmost respect and just treat her like his little princess, you know? The society would be like, why can't you date a girl with your own mental capacity? You're taking advantage of her. You're just raping her. Excuse the fuck out of you, but her parents okayed it for one, and two, she's of age. And just because she has a disorder. That's the thing of it. Is when you treat somebody who has a disorder like they're stupid, that makes you look stupid. I've met a lot of people with Down syndrome who were very smart. And they didn't let their disorder affect their outlook on life. And you want to be a shitty little dickhead because, you know, well, you feel mentally superior just because you don't have Down syndrome? Fuck you. You know that. Can I just say that? Oh, wait, I don't care. I just did. You know. And the only reason I bring this up is because I've had people use Down syndrome as an insult, and they've flinged it at me several times. You look like somebody who has fetal alcohol syndrome and Down syndrome. And people say shit like that to me, I'm like, yeah, and you're the poster child for why kids should be aborted, and why their mothers should go to Planned Parenthood and start wearing condoms. And that's usually my response, to tell you the truth. But people are either too ignorant or just too stupid or just don't care. There's a big difference between having autism and Down syndrome. Big difference. But because they're all associated with having a mental disorder, most people are too ignorant or just flat out don't give a shit. They'll group you all as the same. Well, which one is he? Is he cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or is he... and it's this stigma attached to having a mental or any sort of disorder, really. This is why a lot of these people, most of them end up in the streets. They don't get the help they need because people don't give them a fair chance. And it's bullshit. You can't sit there and say, well, that dude's a problem because, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you can't just sit there and take somebody with a mental disorder, and throw them on the streets. And then bitch because there's a homeless problem. Huh? Johnny Test say what? That would be like saying, our country has an obesity problem, but we're going to make junk food cheaper than actual healthy food. So you're going to bitch about the problem while contributing to it. Here's your sign. And that's the thing of it. If you're going to use Tinder for one night stands, then be honest. You know, there are people on there who are trying to find lasting relationships. And imagine how disconcerting it would be if you're going on social media to try to find a real relationship with somebody, And one person after another either wants money or sex. They don't want to be with you. They don't care about your feelings. You feel like there's no hope and you're not going to find anybody. And believe me, that is a shitty feeling. You know, that's the thing of it. Is I can't fully acknowledge I'm a good looking dude, so why can't I get a girlfriend? Because that gets taken as, oh, you're being narcissistic and entitled. Okay, but you told me I need to have more confidence in myself because I'm not confident enough. And then I go to show confidence, and now I get told you're just being narcissistic. And to me, I'm like, that's kind of bullshit. Just makes it feel like you can't win. Now, when women are treated like sex objects and men are treated like hound dogs that only want one thing, it creates a very toxic environment for men and women to coexist in, and it makes dating just unbearable. Because eventually, if you get treated like shit, if you get treated like shit by enough people, eventually you start to have a negative assumption about that gender or that person or that person's race, etc., etc. It's unfortunate that when people have a negative experience with a minority or a group of minorities or a member of the opposite sex, it can ruin their general idea of people like that in general, So if a woman has nothing but shitty experiences with men, trust and believe she's gonna have trust issues. You know, Men treat her like she's nothing but eye candy. Trust and believe she's gonna get sick of it. And I feel like that's just the curse of that comes with being an attractive person. Is yeah, you might get treated better because you're beautiful, but trade off. And if you're an attractive person and you're sick and tired of being treated as such, then actually show you have a personality. If you're just a beautiful woman but you have no personality, you show no respect towards men, and you show no personality, and then you complain because you're single. You try to change every man you date because he's not good enough. Okay, if you don't like what well, I think you'd look better with short hair. That's your opinion. I'm not cutting my hair. If you don't like my long hair, why are you dating me? And furthermore, who says men have to have short hair? That's sexist. Well, just, I don't want to hear it. Well, my mom might think you're like a druggie or like a hippie or whatever, and she's very old fashioned, I don't give a shit what your mother thinks of me. I'm the kind of dude that chicks date to piss off their parents, and as soon as their parents meet me, they're like, this dude's alright. Straight up. And ain't that just the funniest typical shtick, right? You go to meet her parents for the first time, and she's of age, she's old enough, whatever, but there's the dad cleaning his gun, trying to act like Mr. Billy Badass. Like, I know what you look like. That's cool, I know what you look like too. So, what are your intentions with my little girl? Dude, first of all, she's 20 something. Second of all, you did this same tired bit with your wife's father, so do we really have to go through this? Do we really have to? Is that supposed to fucking scare me? That's cute. I got one of those too. But look, guy, let me just level in with you for a minute. I like your daughter. She's cool. I'm not expecting to fuck her right away. I like to get to know her first. So if you want to be an ass and judge me, go ahead. Don't care. Which I'm going to get that a lot. When you dress goth, people are going to discriminate against you. All because of the way you dress. And it's stupid. But it's funny because if a woman discriminates against me or judges me for dressing goth, but then bitches because she gets called a slut for wearing a low-cut t-shirt, I'm like, yeah, well, now you know how it feels. Should be judged for simply the clothing you wear. People aren't even giving you a chance to make a name for yourself and show a judgment of good character and decision making. They're just going based off of what you wear. And no. No. But back to the point of the video, our society has created this need culture. Our society has created this disgusting need culture around sex, and there's no more romance or foreplay or build up. It's just get it over with. The fuck is that? And I'm gonna say some shit that'll make you think. What if it was some hot ass chick dating some dude with Down syndrome? They're both in their 20s. Nobody would think twice about it. They'd be like, aw, she's such a sweet girl. She looks past his disorder. That's so heartwarming. Aw. But if you switch the genders and it's some dude who's dating a chick with Down syndrome in her 20s, he treats her like a princess. He's really good to her. People wouldn't look at it like, oh, that's so cute. They'd be like, you're just taking advantage of her. You're a fucking rapist. That's what they'd be saying. And why is that? Like, women can date dudes with disorders, what have you, and it doesn't get looked down upon. If anything, it's encouraged because it's heartwarming. But if a dude tries to date a chick with a disorder, look past it or whatever, our society does a fucking 180. I'm like, really? And that's just the truth of it. It sucks. You want to talk to me about male privilege? See, really, when you want to break it down, no sex has privilege. Male female privilege, it's a fucking myth. Women get just as much crap as men do, if not sometimes a lot worse. So if you really want to break it down, there is no gender privilege. Just because women can get away with hitting a man, and some women take advantage of that, big whoop. Men are allowed to fuck as much pussy as they want. No one says shit. A chick fucks one dude, she gets called a whore. That's not fair, but that's life, bud. So if you really want to bitch about gender equality, and of course we can't make a video without people just rolling their eyes, making some snarky comment in the comment section like, oh great, another sexist double standards video. Okay, that just shows you're not wanting to have a mature conversation about it. You just want to sweep the problem underneath the rug, not even address it, just accept it as, well, that's just how the culture is. Let me ask you something. When women are treated unfairly, do they sit back and take it? Fuck no. They fight for gender equality until they get what they want. So why should men not have that same right? Just because my ancestors oppressed your ancestors. Okay, that makes you no better than my ancestors, really. You want to be like that. Between a woman's body being overly sexualized in our society, men being told all we want is pussy, we're just animals, between women being raised growing up to be told all men are just assholes, it's created this toxic environment in which people exist. It creates this very, very toxic environment in which people exist. And if you're not willing to sit down and discuss these things, then these problems are never going to go away. But the biggest problem in our society is you can't address women's issues without being called a sexist or having it taken as a personal attack. Well, how do you think men feel when, you know, we can talk about men's problems all day. We can harp on men, pick them apart, call them every name in the book, and we're just supposed to fucking take it. You don't like it? Suck it up, buttercup. But the second we try to discuss issues from the other side, because when you're finding a solution, there's always two parts to a problem, and there's always a good solution for a good problem. And you can't just openly acknowledge one side's behavior and then completely ignore the other side. It doesn't work like that. Women who want gender equality can't just sit there and pick on men because some men have treated them poorly in the past. That's not how it works. You can't demand respect and then garner none for others. That doesn't do you any favors. You want to call yourself this powerful, strong woman. How are you going to be a strong woman if you're letting other women dictate your life? How many times have you heard women complain about other women? Oh my god, they write jokes about it. Women complain about other women all the fucking time. And wouldn't it be easier being a woman if you just did not give a shit what the other woman thought about you? Like, you want to hate so and so because she's such a bitch, fuck her. She got that Mercedes and a man who makes the money. Oh, you jealous. Obviously, that's why you're complaining about her. No, I'm tired of the slut shaming culture we live in. Like, a woman can't take a beautiful picture of herself wearing a little bit of lipstick and showing off the color she bought without someone saying, well, you look like a two-bit whore with that on. That's too much lipstick. That shade's retarded. You're just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? This chick found some lipstick in this hypothetical. She found some lipstick she was happy about. She wanted to show it off on social media, and she gets picked apart for wearing it. And we can't ask questions about women. We can't ask why do they do the things they do. We can't address their issues because then it gets taken as an attack or you're just being a sexist pig. And I'm like, okay, sweetheart, how do you think men feel when you harp on us all the fucking time about what pieces of shit we are? Furthermore, when you say all men are just assholes, why are you focused on all men? Focus on the good men you have in your life. If you have any good men in your life. If you don't, there's probably a reason why. Because you scared them all away. They tried to be nice and patient, but you scared them away by trying to change them and bitch about how all men are the same. There were two things that'll turn a man off: trying to change him and then bitching about how all men are the same. Men don't want to hear that shit. Do you think women, do you honestly, women, do you want to hear about what sluts and whores you are? Fuck no. That shit pisses you off, doesn't it? Exactly my point. Men don't want to sit here and hear about what disgusting pigs we are. Like, that's a fair point. But I can't make these double standard videos without someone rolling their eyes going, oh great, here we go again. I can't make these double standard videos without society as a whole taking it as I'm attacking, the opposite sex. And I'm not. I make a video talking about how women use their boobs to get attention on social media, and everyone's reaction was dislike, cringe. Oh look, it's just an excuse for this creep to talk about boobs again. Ugh, oh my god. And it wasn't even about that, dude. Like, they just saw the title and immediately dislike. Like, what's a guy talking about women using their boobs to get attention? That's bullshit. But you wouldn't have a problem with it if a woman was talking about it. Guarantee it. You'd be sitting there saying, preach, girl, right? And if you watch the entire video, I was saying it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't mean women should have to rely on that to get attention, for one. And two, you can't complain when someone makes a comment saying, nice boobs, but like, you're totally showing them off. It's not like they're saying they want to rape you or anything like that. They're not saying that. No. They simply complimented you on something you're clearly trying very hard to show off. I mean, if they're not being obnoxiously creepy about the comment, what the fuck do you care? You're trying to peacock for the opposite sex, but then you get pissed off when the reactions are too strong. Like, I literally saw this female YouTuber she bought a bunch of bikinis for like one summer, I don't know. And she's trying them all on, like, these cut scenes of her trying them all on. And she's like, I look like such a pudge or whatever, or calling herself fat when she looks, okay, she had a little bit of meat on her bones. Boo-hoo, she looked decent. She didn't look that bad at all. But she's sitting there body shaming herself. And then on top of that, she's like, if you make comments about my body, I'm going to block you from my channel. I will not tolerate it. Keep in mind, this chick's very large-chested, and she didn't have to cover up her cleavage when she leaned forward, because you could still see everything even when she's not doing it. She's standing there, it's like, okay, so this is what it looks like on my bod. And I'm just like, wow, dude. It just came off as extremely fake. Like, the person, she might have been attractive on the outside, but on the inside it just came off as really, really fake. And the point I made was, what happened if I went around town wearing a muscle shirt showing off my arms and then got pissed off when people made comments? Well, you can't make that analysis because you're not a woman. You don't know what it's like. And that's what my counter argument is. Your boobs are right here. Your arms are right here. That's not much of a distance. Like, and that's just it. Women think, oh, we're oppressed because society is obsessed with our boob size, and that's stupid. I agree with you, ladies. You don't need to have big, nice boobs to be accepted. Small boobs are nice too. I'm just saying, like, fuck. People think, you have to have this XYZ type figure to, fuck that. Men deal with that crap all the fucking time. But you get told, you have to have muscles to be considered masculine. You have to fuck as much pussy as you can and have huge ass muscles to be considered a man. It's stupid, dude. It's fucking stupid. But if I make a video talking about this, it comes off as cringy. Like, ooh, it's so cringy. Oh my god. Oh, dude, it's like we can't even talk about the issues without it coming off as cringy. And that's exactly the problem with our society. How are we supposed to find a solution to these problems if nobody wants to talk about it? I mean, people are sitting there saying nobody talks about bullying on social media outside of it. That's just, yeah, they do. And if they don't, they should. I mean, controlling bullying on social media, that's a lot harder than controlling bullying in our schools. Simply for the reason the internet is vast, very, very vast. Therefore, therefore, it's a lot harder to control. But people will get attacked on social media just for having a free-based opinion, and it's stupid. And this right here is the problem with our society when a woman's body is overly sexualized and men are treated all the same, like all we want is, what I'm saying? It creates a very toxic environment for men and women to coexist in. And that's why dating sucks. It doesn't necessarily have to pertain to your area, your neck of the woods. It's just a generalization that I've noticed, and that's the thing of it, is some of these generalizations are just culturally accepted. More so if it's a negative generalization towards men, it's just culturally accepted. If there's any sort of sexism or negativity towards women, they fight for it and they get what they want, and that's awesome. But women are told to embrace their bodies, and that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? If women list reasons why they're girlfriend material, they say things like "I'm sexy," this and that. They don't get called narcissistic. They get told, "Yes, you do you. Support yourself," and that kind of thing. But I feel like that when men try to show confidence, sometimes it gets taken as, you're just being narcissistic. And I hate that double standard. I really do. Like, it's complete crap. And there's nothing I can do about it except bitch and complain about it. And it doesn't do me any good to complain about it because women have it just as hard, if not harder. So, but that's the thing of it is it's gotten so bad that being PC is considered offensive now, or you're just being a kiss ass, or and that's so fucking irritating. Like, now you're not even getting offended at anything. You're just getting offended at being offended, really. Like, the idea of being PC is now considered offensive. You notice this? Like, oh god, it's 2019. We can't make any jokes anymore. And it's not about making jokes, man. It's about respect. And if you can't understand that, well, then you're part of the problem, not the solution. Thanks for watching, YouTube.